Okay guys, so I'm back in the basement, back at it. Really cold this morning, so I kind of didn't work on the bike like I should. But I wanted to explain the water passages for my intercooler a little bit more, because I kind of just went over it real quick. So what I want to do, since this intercooler is so big, air will come in the bottom, come out the top here. And then water will go through these passages, obviously, to cool it. That's where the heat exchange comes from. But because the intercooler is basically right next to where the throttle bodies are, I want all that air inside the intake manifold to be as evenly, have as even as a temperature as possible. I run it in on the top port on this side and out on the bottom port on that side, and then in on this side and out on this side. So this will have water running through it this way, and this will have water running through it this way. That way, when the air is like all circulating inside the airbox, it's going to have a really good even mixture. So how I'm doing that is I'm assembling this assembly. These were all turned on a lathe. This is all done by hand. You know, I don't have any CNC. This isn't AutoCAD bullshit. So takes a little bit of time, but what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to have to put some side plates on it and then make sure that it fits, and then I'm going to start tweaking these how I want them, because I'm going to cut this on an angle. And yeah, so I'll check back in a little bit once I have more of this done. But this fitting, you know, it looks simple, but it takes a long time, especially since, you know, all these angles I'm going to have to weld around here and around here, but that's no big deal. So that's a little update. Okay, so I got one end cap basically fabricated. The other one's almost done, but just to give you a look at what it is like. That was a pain in the butt. I'll get the other one tacked up tomorrow. Finishing this end part will be pretty easy. Then, ooh, that's a nice shot. It looks like chrome there. Another thing I got done was mocked up where the header's going to be tomorrow. Keep saying that I'm going to do stuff tomorrow, but hey guys, I want to do a quick update. As usual, I'm a little behind schedule. I'm going to go look at a truck today. So, and then I got to go to work, so I don't have much time. This was that piece that I was talking about where the intake will attach to. I think this trip I'm going to make another piece where an actual cone filter will stick on, and that way I can run the front fairing. So I think this trip I'll have just a cone filter. I finally, this end tank system took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. My welding kind of started out like crap on some of this stuff, but then you know, I finally got into the groove of things. It's just been so long since I welded aluminum. So it's dual pass. One of these goes into the first chamber, the other one goes into the second chamber. This is tacked up, but I'm going to have to weld a piece here on the inside because I won't be able to weld it from the outside. So I'll have to end up fitting that piece, and then I'll break this apart, weld it on here, and then tack this on permanently, and then I can start building my enclosure. But this was a huge pain in the butt, and it actually fits, so I'm really happy about that. And you can see how freaking insanely massive this intercooler core is. The other thing that I did was I have my basic header laid out to where the turbo is going to sit on the bike. So what I'm doing now is I just machined this aluminum flange that would represent the turbine input, and I'm going to make an aluminum jig. I got to go buy aluminum for it on the way to go check out this truck. And then that way I can just fabricate right from that jig. I don't have to have the bike on the header on the bike. So I got all my pipe. I'm going to use Schedule 10 stainless steel. I think it's going to go pretty easy. Right now I got to install a AEM failsafe on my friend's Gen 2 Busa. So I'm just cutting, what I do on this is I cut a ridge that's 3/4 of an inch off. So this will have an indent, a set step that's 3/4 of an inch. So then when I use the stepped bit to drill a hole in the exhaust, this last step is 3/4 of an inch, so that thing just fits in there, and then you weld around it real easy. Other than that, that's the big news. But what hopefully once I get the header jig done, you'll start to see this stuff fly together. But I want to actually show you some of the steps along the way. I wish I had more time because I'd show you some of the machining the actual flange, the flanges and whatnot. But yeah, so you can kind of get an idea of how this thing will sit. So there'll be a plate that comes across like this. So the air is going to kind of come in, go up through here, and then disperse into the air box. And it will have the dual pass. So as I said, water will be going in this direction and then in this direction, split down the middle. So what a pain in the ass. So I'll try and find some shitty welds. Here's some ugly welds. I mean, they'll hold, This is all 1/8 inch thick aluminum, but then, here, let's see, here I actually started welding a little more butter, and, some of these aren't so bad. This was a pain, though, to set up. So earlier I had been talking, maybe I put in a video, maybe I didn't, that I needed a longer bolt for this crank area right here. So what this does is, that's an 8mm bolt. This pump system has an 8mm head, so it basically goes on there like this, and then it will suck the oil out of the turbo. So I bought 3 bolts, and what I'm going to do is shorten one of them, and then I'm going to have to just cut an aluminum, I think I'm going to do an aluminum spacer that will sit behind the bolt, space it the correct distance, and then I'll be able to actually finish, this little section and put this clutch cover on. And then I'll have, so once I put my oil pan on and I get this on, I'll have my whole oiling system taken care of. Right now the bike looks fairly depressed and boring, but that's how race bikes look. Alright, so oh shit, upside down. Okay, so I figured I'd do a little update. I got my header jig made. It's out of 6061 aluminum. It's not too pretty. It's very functional. Comes apart. I have my first pipe. Had a poof. I have my first pipe made. I'm working on the second pipe, and what I'll probably do is fit these two together, and then I will work on these two. So these two pipes will come together basically like this. I'll fit them once I get this pipe connected. I tack them all together, and then what I'll do is I'll do a hole weld, and either do that first and then fit these two pipes together, or vice versa. It doesn't really make a whole lot of difference. Then this pipe will kind of come like in right here, and this pipe will basically come kind of straight out and then do a run into this side. So it should flow pretty damn good. This pipe, I don't know, we'll try and see if you can see the inside. I mean, it's gonna flow super good. Those connections are really smooth, and I'll back purge this. Other than that, I want to get this header done. For me, pipe fitting like this is probably one of the harder parts. I find like the aluminum intake's pretty easy to make, so I want to get this done. That way I'll be able to fit the wastegate and finish the Sidewinder exhaust, and then I can work on the intake manifold. But you can kind of see. Later.